Good morning. Thank you for joining me today on today's Totallybeads Live. We're going to be making some really lovely little earrings, little danglies as they're often referred to. We're going to be using some gorgeous Toho Seed beads, a little bit of wire, some head pins and some earring hooks, and apart from a jump ring and a few tools, that is all you're going to need today. So thank you for joining me. Hope you're okay. So far, the storm's coming in. So we've had all sorts of weathers this morning. It's been really bright. It's been very windy, very wet. And I've had lots of technical issues, but so far so good. So hopefully you can see me okay, you can hear me okay. If there are any maybe freezing issues or whatever, then I'm blaming the weather. So I hope you're okay. I hope you are warm and you are safe. Good morning, Edward. How are you doing? So as I say, thank you for joining me today for these lovely little earrings. They're not going to take too long. You're going to be able to make about 2 pairs at least out of your pack. You've got plenty of wire to work with, and you can adjust them to your preference. So I've made them quite large because I quite like to have a bit of a statement earring every now and again, but you can adapt these to your preference and what you prefer with them. So I'm going to take you straight over to the website and you can have a little look, and then I will come back and say good morning to you all. So if you go onto our fabulous website of Totallybeads, today you can scroll down into the video tutorial categories and you'll see we've named these Lila. So they're very summery, a little bit bohemian chic, I think. And you can see there's some beautiful colours to choose from today. So they vary in price. There are 25% off all of the kits. So you can choose from the rose mauve, which are lovely little pink and rose gold colourway. We've also got gold grapefruit, which is, I would say, kind of a zesty peach. And we've also got silver sapphire with a beautiful blue. And again, I think they're my favourite, but I really like the grapefruit. And we've got these gorgeous starlight teal as well. So in your kit, it will make 2 pairs. I'll go through them one by one so you can see them in their glory and you can see the price on them. So they are 25% off today. So for the rose mauve, they are £7.49. And your kits contain your colour remain wire, 2 pairs of your ear wires, your sea beads in 2 different colours, 30mm head pins and jump rings too. So you can have enough jump rings to make 2 pairs in there because we tend to put 1 jump ring on each earring. So they are your gorgeous, gorgeous rose mauve colourway. Rose mauve. I'll put my teeth back in. So I'm very much liking the pink. I'm sure some of you will be liking that one too. The grapefruit is very, very lovely. I am definitely drawn to orange, peaches and yellows a lot more than I used to be. Because every time I make something up, I'm thinking, actually, I prefer this than all the others. I'm usually blues and greens, but this is lovely. I think I'll be demoing with this one today. So again, in your kit, you're getting 60 centimetres of your colour remain beading wire. I tend to use about 12 centimetres per earring, so 24 centimetres for a pair of earrings. But as I say, you can make them much smaller if you want to, and you can adapt them to your preference. So you might be able to get a little bit more out of that if you wish. So they're coming with your 2 pairs of ear wires, your seed beads, again in those 2 different colours, your head pins and your jump rings, and they are £8.99. And that's those lovely peaches. For the absolute bargain price of £5.99, you can choose the silver sapphire on the silver findings. And your Toho seed beads are really, really lovely. They're perfect for this. The wire that we're using is 1mm, so it's a little bit thicker, gives you that sturdiness, but your seed beads fit onto them beautifully, and they've got lovely silver lining, I think, in those ones as well. So they are very, very pretty, and they are just $5.99. We also have these gorgeous starlight teal for you, which are £7.49. Again, you're making 2 pairs of earrings up from them, and that is your gorgeous, gorgeous colourway. So I will show you them down on the mat as well, and you can have a little look at which one you like best. I will say a quick good morning to you all. So I have already said good morning to Edward, and he said good, which is lovely to hear. Good morning to Mina. Good morning to Lucy. Good morning to Lisa. And she says, morning, Natalie. Hope you're well. I'm fine. I'm staying indoors today. I might be going out a little bit later. We shall see. Rachel says we've had a mixture in terms of weather too. So she said it's been really windy, rainy, and then goes dark and brightens up. I don't know if any of you seen footage of the boat this morning. I think it was in Germany. It is very, very scary. So I'm hoping everybody's safe and okay. Good morning to Jitty. How are you doing? Good morning to Celia. She says it's dry here, but I know what you mean about the interference on technology. Everything was just going really slow. My screen that I view you and you see me on was going very, very jittery. Nothing was loading. I had little warning signs, and then I couldn't even switch it off to start again, because that's my go-to with technology. Switch it off. Keep your fingers crossed and switch it back on. Good morning to Lisa. She says, good morning, Natalie. Hope you're, and all you lovely beaders, hope everybody is staying safe. Good morning to Rachel. Good morning to Debbie. She says, it's a bit blowy in North Kent. Blue skies for Camille, but she's happy to stay safe and stay in Beading. Good morning to Anne. Carol says it is very windy in Brixham, and she's hoping everybody stays safe. Good morning to Jo. She says she's having a beading day for the first time in ages, and the weather has forced her clients to reschedule. Every cloud and every Toho Seed bead has a silver lining, Jo. So although it's unfortunate that they've cancelled, stay in, get some making done, and just take it as a duvet day instead. Good morning to Leslie. Good morning to Francis. Good morning to Angela and Elaine. Lucy says she's not sure what's happened, but she can't type on her computer. Hope everyone is okay. So it seems like it's not just the weather affecting my tech then. And then she's put, okay, I think I'm back. Well, we can see your comments, Lucy. So whatever you're typing on is working. Good morning to Joanne. She says down south is different from where she is in the Midlands. So everybody's getting weather reports from each other by the looks of it. Thank you, Lucy, for sharing today's link for the lovely Lila earrings. Good morning to Judith, Nicole, and Ruth. Ruth has asked everybody if they wouldn't mind hitting the like button. Thank you very much for that, Ruth. I do often forget. Good morning to Hannah. She says, morning, everybody. I'm at work, but understandably, I haven't seen a customer for ages. I think everybody's wanting to stay in today. Good morning to Linda. Good morning to you all. Oh, Edward said he's going to make these for his mum. So hopefully, you'll find them really easy to do. Linda says we've got lots of Lindas in the group. This is Linda Webber. She says, good morning. We've got a red warning here in Reigate. I can never pronounce this, Linda. Am I pronouncing that place wrong? Probably. So let me take you down on the mat. If you are just joining us this morning, we are making beautiful, stylish Toho Seed bead earrings, and we've called them Lila. So they're very, very sweet. So these are them in all their colours. As I say, I've made them quite large. When they're in, they don't look too big. You've got these lovely little tassels. They're quite lightweight. And I think they're just very pretty. You've got a little bit of movement on them. And I think I'm going to be making with this colourway today. I don't know. I might mix and match them up just to confuse you. Because I do think that lovely teal would look very nice with that peachy colour too. And there we have our blue ones. Pauline says she likes to have a large earring. I like a dangly. I often wear my little studs, but I think, especially in the summer, as I say, these to me, everything I'm making at the moment reminds me of the summer. I think I'm just longing for this weather to change. So there are beautiful colours today. You don't have to make them with the head pins if you don't want to. You could just make yourself some little hoops. And as I say, the smaller you make them, the more you're going to get out of your kit. We have only included 2 ear wires in there and enough jump rings for 2 pairs. But they are our lovely colours. And Lucy, surprise, surprise, says she likes the pink. Can you see them clearly enough? They've got a lovely shimmer. Love these rose gold findings on these as well. They're really lovely. So let's get started. So what I'm going to do to begin with is I'm going to start to make my tassels. So I'm going to get out 9 head pins, and that's going to be per earring. So you might find this easier to do making 2 at the same time. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to have 1 in the middle, which is going to be my longest tassel, and I'm going to put 7 seed beads onto that one. On either side, I'm going to put 6. Then 5, then 4, and then finish with 3. So I'm going to get this graduated look so it tapers down so the largest is in the middle. So as I say, if you want to do these at the same time rather than making 1 earring at a time, you might want to make a pair. You'll need 2 of this one with 7 seed beads on. You'll need 4 of the others. I'm just going to make 1 up for now. Just in terms of time. Joanne says the peach is gorgeous. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to get my seed beads out, and I'm going to get them out in my 2 colours, because you will get 2 colours in your packs. As I say, I might make my tassels different from the main frame for this one, just because. And I'm going to pick up 1 of my head pins, and I'm just going to use this like a little needle, move these bits out the way just to give you a little bit of focus. And I'm just going to pick 7 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So all I'm doing is alternating, going from one colour to the next. And I've started off with these lovely kind of champagne-y coloured ones. So I'm starting with my metallic, but it's entirely up to you. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to bend that little head pin just above that last seed bead. And because I put 7 on this, I don't think I need to cut any of this. I've got about 1 centimetre there. So I'm just going to put my round nose pliers right up to that tip, so there's nothing sticking out. And I'm just going to make a small loop with that. So I'm going to start to turn it towards me, and just with little twists of my wrist, I'm going to bring that in to make a little loop which sits at the top. Just like that. Mina says all the colours are lovely. Just going to straighten that up ever so by giving it a little turn. So that is going to be my central one. Now I'm going to graduate them down, so I'm going to pick up 6. So again, I'm starting with this one, but it's entirely up to you. So I'm taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I've alternated those colours. Pop a little bend in it. The reason I put that bend in it is because when I turn that loop, back on itself, it will sit at the top of the pin. I'm going to cut a tiny little bit of this off and probably fire it across the room. If any of your seed beads slide off, that's okay. You can just pop that back on again. And again, you can play around with the length of your dangles or your tassels. You don't have to have this many. You might want them to be the same length. You might not want any at all. But I think graduating them down like this fills them very nicely at the bottom. So I've done one with 6. I'm going to do another one with 6, so that goes on the opposite side. Again, alternating between the colours. Give that a little bend. I'm going to trim a tiny bit off because I only want small loops. I think I'm going to have to get myself some new cutters. These have started to blunt a little bit. And that's probably because I use them for ages and for everything. And I'm a little bit guilty of not always just cutting wire with them. I'll cut all sorts with them, to be honest. So I'm just turning that up. So keeping that flush so there's nothing poking out the end. Using the small end of my pliers because I want a small little loop. The wind is starting to pick up again, so I don't know if you can hear that on my window. Get some Lindstroms, says Jane. They're very expensive, Jane. I've got some Neuron ones. No, I can't remember. I've got some good ones. We're just discussing makes of pliers there. Okay, so I've got 6. Now I'm going to do my 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And bend that again. So I did invest, well, I say I did invest. They were a gift for my birthday just before Christmas off my husband. He got me some nice new tools for my wire work. I always used to go on the kind of saying of, I mean, there's the saying buy cheap, buy twice. But I thought, well, I'll just buy some cheap tools to start off. And if I wear them out, it shows that, it's a hobby that I like, that, I'm happy to invest in some better ones. Me and my jewellery making isn't going to be a hobby that's like a fleeting one. This one's for life, so I don't mind paying that little extra. So we've done another 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when I've done these, I'm just placing them down, as you can see here, in the order in which I'm going to thread them on to my earring bases. Give that a little trim. Just holding on to that little seed bead so it doesn't come off my head pin there. And then I've turned that up into a little loop which sits nice at the top. Good morning, Gwen. Camille says it's very windy where she is too. And Joe says it's getting worse. I've lost my gazebo roof and fence panel. There'll be trampolines and all sorts flying around a bit later on, I'm sure. So now I'm going to do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. give that a bend, and chopping off my head pin to leave around 1 centimetre. And you can turn your pins whichever way you want. I always turn them towards me, just so we've got that lovely little loop. And all my loops are around the same size because I'm using the same point on my pliers. So you'll see my pliers are tapered when you're using the round nose. So they're wider at the top and smaller at the bottom. So I'm using around here when I'm turning those loops to make quite small little loops. So another one with 4. Give that a trim. You could, I suppose, use your loopers with these if you wanted to, if you've got a pair. I don't find them very time consuming. It's quite a quick make, so I've got no problem just doing them with my round nose. And now my last ones are going to be with 3. So these are going to be my smallest, and they're going to sit on the outside. Tohan says, late again, morning all, no wind here yet. Moving on up, I think, Diane. So giving them a little turn all the way around just to make sure that's closed over. And then my last one, I'll have 3 on it again. I'm going to bend my wire just above that seed bead. Trim off, catch that end if you can, just so it doesn't fly away. And give that a little turn. And straighten up if you need to. I do with that one. So I want to make sure that that is fully closed. Just going to give it a little nudge back up, just to make sure it's sitting nicely at the top of my beads. Okay, so there I have 7 in the middle, 6 either side, 5, 4 and 3. And you can play around with those if you want to try with different lengths. It's entirely up to you. Now I'm going to be taking a piece of my wire. We're using the 1mm wire, and it is colour remain wire. It's nice and sturdy. It's still soft enough to use, but it's going to make sure that they're not too flimsy, and they're going to, sit nicely. So I've cut here about 12 centimetres. If you want to make your loop smaller, by all means you can cut smaller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give that a little bit of a straighten. It doesn't have to be too straight because we're going to be curving this anyway. But I'm going to work with the direction of the wire. You will see quite a lot when you work with wire, it has a natural curve to itself. It knows where it wants to go. Don't fight with that. Work with it in the direction. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pliers again, and I'm going to turn a little loop at one end of my wire, and then I'm going to straighten that up by just popping my pliers back in and giving it a little nudge. I'm going to create a little loop to sit at the top there. And now I'm going to add on my seed beads. So again, I'm going to alternate each time. Don't think I'll need any more, but we'll pour some more out. And I'm going to pick up 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So although I'm using 1mm wire, which is quite a thick wire, the holes inside my seed beads are nice and large and they will fit on with ease. You might get the odd one which is slightly smaller. I could probably get that on if I tried, but I'm not forcing it today. So I've put on 13 of my beads and they're again alternating in colour. And I'm going to pick up my smallest, which is my little head pin with 3 on, and I'm going to thread that on. So I'm putting it on with the opening towards me, but it doesn't really matter because when they're on you won't see that. And then I'm going to pick up another seed bead in another colour. So if I've got this lovely coppery colour one, I'm picking up my kind of grapefruity peach coloured one. And then I'm going to pick up my head pin with 4 and alternate the colour. Then I'm going to pick up with 5 and alternate the colour. So I'm popping on a seed bead in between and I'm gradually moving up in size. So now I'm putting on my largest one with 7. And then I'm moving down again, so with 6. And 5. Then 4. And then lastly with 3. So it's looking like this. I've got that lovely tapered shape in the middle. Good morning, Kay from Wisconsin. Don't worry about being late. Lorna says, my end keeps freezing. We'll watch back later. Bye for now. Okay, Lorna. Hopefully it's okay for most of you. The weather is picking up here. As I say, I am just blaming the weather today for signal. But so far, I can still see you. So hopefully it's okay. So I've added them on. And all I've been doing is just picking it up, using my wire as a needle. I'm then going to add another 13 on. I'm going to hold it like this. I find it's a little bit easier. So I'm holding it like a little seed bead skewer. So the last one I put on was one of these. So now I'm going to put one of them on. So 13 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that makes 13. Now, again, you can make these smaller. You can add less seed beads on if you wish. I've made sure that whatever amount I've put here, I've put on this side too. And that's just going to make sure that these sit in the middle. And I've found by using around 12 centimetres, I've got just enough to get all of my seed beads on and leave a little tiny bit enough to turn that loop in. So I'm going to bend my wire again which will push my seed beads down together. It does spin a little bit, but that's okay. And then using the tiny end of my round nose, I'm just going to give that a little turn up. Sliding all over the place there. And then I'm going to turn that into a little loop. Make sure that loop is fully closed. I'm going to bend it back a little bit just to make sure it sits nicely on the top. And I'm going to close that in. So I've got 2 little loops sitting at either end of my wire. Angela's got a nice idea. She said, if you just bent that, it would make a nice necklace. You could very much shape it into a little necklace. That's a lovely idea, Angela. See, this is why I love the lives, because we all look at something slightly different and come up with brilliant suggestions. Yeah, I really like that. You know what I'm going to be doing this afternoon, don't you? I've got so many other projects to be getting on with and making, but now I'm thinking, oh, I'll turn that into a matching necklace. Okay, so I've got my 2 little loops. I'm just going to make sure that this one is closed at the top on this end a little bit more. And now I'm going to start to put in a little bit of shape. Now, again, you can use anything you want. If you've got a mandrel, use a mandrel. I'm using a tiny little wooden, it's technically a pepper, from a toy set. It doesn't matter. All you're looking for something that has got that round circumference in the size that you want. So you could use a glue stick. You could use a little jam pot. You can use whatever it is that you want. Diane says it's a shame the head pins aren't longer. A necklace would be lovely. You can get larger head pins if you want to, Diane, and you can make a larger necklace with that. You could even use ball pins as well if you wanted to. These ones I'm using today are 30mm because they're perfect for what I need in terms of the length. So in terms of the largest amount I've cut off is that. So it saves wasting it all. But if you want to get some more head pins, you can do this. That's no problem. So all I'm going to do is start to curve my wire around that shape. Doesn't have to be a perfect circle, but whatever you use on both of your earrings because you want them matching. So you can shape that with your fingers if you want to. You can get yourself something with the circumference that you're after. And I'm just bending that round just to shape it in a little bit. So these ends are starting to come together. And then with my pliers, I'm going to bend up the loops that I've made so they're sitting upright. So just with your pliers, just give them a little twist. This is why you want to make sure that those loops are closed. And then you can bring them in together. And as I say, you can keep shaping that with your fingers. You don't need to use anything really to shape it. But that's starting to make that lovely shape. Celia says it started snowing. And Penny is also loving the necklace idea. Oh, that's a good idea as well, Victoria. Victoria says, I save pill bottles for wire work. You know, a wine cork would probably be the perfect circle as well, wouldn't it? You can use whatever you want to. I always just pick something up. I don't even know if this is what I was using to begin with. It was definitely a child's toy. Oh, everybody's starting to get the snow. I've just got torrential rain outside. Okay, so now I'm going to get one of my jump rings. And I'm going to open that up. Again, I'm going to open it up, either opening it towards me or away from me, like so. And then I'm going to thread that jump ring through those little loops at the top of our earring. That's going to bring them together. And then I'm going to close that over. So I'm taking that jump ring where it meets each other in the middle. Don't know if this is quite, it's not really focusing too much there. There we go. And I'm going to take it slightly past the point of meeting. So when I let it go, it should spring back nice and closed. And all I need to do now is add on my earring hook. Yeah, Elaine says a spice or herb jar might be a good size to use. It's entirely up to you in terms of the size that you want. You can just use your fingers, but I think if you've got something with a cylindrical shape, that's just going to help mold it a little bit more and get that perfect kind of symmetry between your earrings. And then I'm going to open up my earring wire, my French hook, by just opening it like a jump ring. I'm not putting too much pressure, and I'm not opening it an awful lot because I don't need to, and I don't want to put too much pressure on that. And then I'm just going to slide that on to the jump ring and then close that back over. And there you have your lovely little Toho Seed Bead earring. Now, given the time, I probably should have made two. And I would have made these at the same time. So I'd have made 2 of the seed beads with 7 on, 4 with the 6, 4 with the 5, with the 4 and with the 3. And then I can just make them at the same time. All you need to do is make sure, in fact I might do one without the tassels, and you can see how that looks if you would rather just have them in a little hoop. That's entirely up to you. So I'm doing the same. I'm going to take my length of wire, whichever size I want. I'm going with 12 centimeters here. I'm going to pop my pliers in and give that end a little twist. So I've got my loop sitting nice and upright on the end of my wire. When I curved that in, I went in the direction that my wire was slightly already curved in. Then I'm going to take my seed beads. I'm going to use these lovely teal ones, I think, now against the gold. Your wires will match. So if you've chose the pink, you'll have the rose gold colourway. If you're choosing the sapphire blue, we'll have put in the silver findings for you. So that's going to match lovely. So you're going to get your silver jump ring ear wire, the 1mm wire in silver, and your silver head pins as well. So I'm going to pour a few of these out. And I'm just going to add, obviously there will be a slight difference in the size in terms of the amount of seed beads I'm putting on, because I'm not going to put my head pins on this time. They don't take up too much space, but there will be a slight difference. So I'm just going to pick up as many as I want. And I'm just using it like a needle. So I'm going back and forward, alternating those colours, picking them straight up. So it's really easy, very straightforward to do, not too fiddly. And as I say, those Toho seed beads have got a lovely large hole in the middle of them, so they're going to fit on your wire with ease. I don't know how many I've picked up there. Just going to keep going, I think. Can always cut my wire if I need it smaller. I think that will probably do. So I've started with the gold, I'll finish with the gold as well. So then I'm going to bend my wire down. If I've got a little bit of excess I don't need, I'm going to trim that off. I'm going to pop my pliers in and start with my round nose just to turn that little loop all the way back on itself. So I've got this. Let's move these out of the way. Ooh, fired that across the room. Whatever I would like in terms of shape, I'm going to start. If you are using your fingers, don't just bend it in the middle. Start using it to put in a gentle curve to bring that round. So I'll do this one without having a cylindrical shape, and you'll see it still works the same. I'm going to twist my loops so they're facing in and up, and then they will meet together when I put that jump ring on. So you can see there, I didn't use anything to shape it other than my fingers, and I've still got quite a nice shape to it. And then I'm going to open up my jump ring. Thread that on and close that over. And then all I need to do is attach my ear wire. So with the amount of seed beads that you're getting in your packs, if you were to make the large ones with 12 centimeters of wire per earring, you're going to be able to make up 2 pairs of earrings. You can as well if you want. You don't have to alternate the colour. You might decide you just want to use the teal or the blue on their own. That's entirely up to you. They're really easy and straightforward to do. I do prefer them with the tassels personally. And that is as easy as they are. So you've got 4 lovely colourways today to choose from. You've got the beautiful rose mauve pink ones, sapphire blue. You've got those gorgeous peachy ones I've just been making with. And your lovely teal as well. And just because I've followed that same method with the same amount of seed beads and using the same thing to shape it on, all 3 of them I would say are a perfect match. So you're going to be able to repeat that each time and get that symmetry with your earrings. Could you tell me what size wire you're using? I'm using the 1mm wire today. You'll get 60 centimeters of this in your pack, so you'll be able to make up at least 2 pairs of earrings. You are only getting your 2 pairs of ear wires and your 4 jump rings, but if you've got those in, you might be able to make some more if you're making smaller or using less seed beads. So let me bring you back up again. And I will take you back onto the web page so you can see just the bargains that we have for you today. They are slightly varying pricing, but they are 25% off all of those colourways. So for the Starlight Teal, they are £7.49. For your Silver Sapphire, they are a bargain price of just £5.99. So you're getting 2 pairs of earrings in there for what, less than £3 a pair. Very, very pretty. You can get your grapefruit gold, which are the ones that I demoed with today. They're the more expensive ones. They are £8.99, but they should have been £11.99. So still a brilliant discount on them. And you've also got your rose mauve, which are the pretty pink ones too. They're £7.49. So in your kit, you're getting to make up 2 pairs of earrings. You're getting 60 centimeters of your Colour Remain beading wire, and that is 1 millimeter. You're getting 2 pairs of your ear wires, your Toho Seed Beads in 2 different colors. They're like 10-gram bags, so you're getting plenty in there. You're also getting your head pins, which are 30 millimeters, and you're getting some jump rings too to attach onto each of your earrings. So some absolutely lovely little bargains there for you. I am going to put a pair in. Well, I've got a bluish jumper on, so I'm going to put the blue ones in. Joanne says, my favourite colour is blue, but with these, I think it has to be the peach and the rose. You're like me then, Joanne, so I always want to pick blues and purples up. When I'm looking at wire, I really love the rose gold colour. Where's my ear gone? We'll get it in. I'll persist. But yeah, I'm really loving the peach ones, and I really love the teal ones too. So as I say, they are quite large statement earrings. They're very dangly, but you don't have to make them this big. You can downsize these if you want and make them a little bit smaller. Those tassels make a really lovely noise. They've got a little bit of movement to them. And depending on how you turn your ear wire and those hooks, you can have them facing forward, or you can have them dangling to the side. Judith says, very, very pretty. And Penny says, they look lovely. So that was as simple as they were for you to make today. They take, I would say, you can make a pair of earrings up in half an hour, 25 minutes. Obviously, you're going to get 2 in your kit today. So lots of lovelies for you. If you do make them, please share them in the handmade group. I'd love to see what you do with them. If you are going to make a necklace with them instead, please let me see that also, because I think that's a really lovely idea. So thank you for that. I will be back with you. What day are we on today? Is it Friday today? I don't know where my days have been this week. So I will be back with you. Susan says they're very 1960s. They are a bit, aren't they? I'll be back with you on Monday. We're going to be making some lovely little necklaces. We're going to be using some miracle beads. I think there's hematite in there. There's lots of little bits of chain, so you can make them as long or as short as you want. We're just going to be making overhead necklaces, which means there'll be no clasp on that. You can just pop them on. They're also going to be some gorgeous little snowflakes. I'm giving away far too much, aren't I, here? But they'll fit together like lovely little beads. So I'm looking forward to that. We've got loads of lovely things coming up for you in the next, say, few weeks. It's the next few months. Joanne, you are most welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope wherever you are staying exactly what Camille says, safe. That you keep wrapped up warm. Don't go out if you can help it. And, if you've got neighbours or anyone who's maybe a little bit vulnerable, check in on them and check that they're okay as well. All right, my lovelies, have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. So sending you all lots of love and lots of light. Take